Hello, and welcome to the Spanner and Spoon Show, where absolutely anything could and will happen. So strap yourselves in and prepare to be taken on a mysterious journey of intrigue, suspense, and downright weirdness. But first, General Spanner and Professor Spoon are interviewing someone to replace me, as it seems I'm not good enough for their tiny little show.
Spanner, I have no idea what's happening, but I got no sleep last night because Jazz Cat had one of his all-night parties again.
He's totally out of control. I think we need to call his 12-step sponsor.
Has he got a 12-step sponsor?
I don't know, but I counted 12 steps of muck up the wall yesterday after he went on that bender. I'm very worried about him. Auntie Biscuit Auntie Biscay had reprimanded him fiercely, but he continued to party on.
Well, I suppose we'd better get on with this interview, hadn't we, Spanner?
Yes.
So, who have we got today?
You tell me. You lined this one up, Spoon.
Oh, so I did.
You were humming a song. It was
Was I?
I have no idea who it is. So go ahead.
Good, okay. Well, today we've got a very lovely young chap called Paul Robinson. Hello, Paul.
Robinson!
Hello, guys.
So it was that. And here's to you, Paul Robinson.
Oh, yes, that's a good song.
Spoon
I like that
found
one.
you and tell us where he found you. Ho, ho, ho.
Didn't the Bootles do that one, Spanner?
The bootfuls of what?
No, the Bootles. It was the Bootles, wasn't it?
No, it was Garf and Funkel, I think. Those two folky singers. Anyway, Paul, how are you?
I'm good. I've not heard that one before. That's the first time I've heard that gag. So thank you, guys, for your originality.
Gag? What does he mean, Spoon?
What gag? I don't know. That was just me.
We should gag Jazz Cat.
Yes, I tried that once, you know.
Shut up, you ugly little creature.
We haven't scripted any of this. We never do we, Spanner?
Well, I think every show we do, I should tell another dad joke. But we'll wait a while to do that. Let's hear about Paul.
Okay, let's hear about Paul. So, Paul, we know you, we had a look around just to check, because what we're looking for is a lovely narrator voice, because our narrator is a little bit,
Obnoxious.
Yes.
Self-serving.
Self-serving, yes. And
Alcoholic.
yes, he's an alcoholic too, of course. Yes. So, is there? Have you done any sort of voice work?
Emotionally bruised.
Yeah, very unfriendly.
It sounds like you've just described every radio presenter there ever was with those descriptions. That covers the entire gamut. I mean, the alcohol is de rigueur, isn't it? But I mean, putting the alcohol aside, because it is quite early, maybe later the alcohol will come in. Have I done any voiceover work? I have done quite a lot of voiceover work, particularly when I was younger. When I was a radio presenter, I used to do a lot of radio ads and TV ads. I generally used to get two sorts of ads. Either they were the music ads, where it's a compilation album for a whole load of hits, where you've got to shout out all the bands really quickly and really fast, or for car ads. And for some reason, when you're selling a car, this is going back, 20 years, they used to think you had to shout really loud and say the words as fast as you possibly could and mention the phone number about 5 million times in 30 seconds. So I was doing a lot of those, and it was quite nice. You go into the studio and they give you 5 or 6 scripts to read, and you walk out with a cup for £100. So it was all right.
That sounds cool. Can you give us a little example of one of your old car ads?
Well, I don't have a car ad in front of me. I'd have to read something maybe that's not a car ad, but maybe I could do that.
The new Mitsubishi whatever.
How about this? How about this? Coming to the Tyne Theatre, Westgate Road, Newcastle. Thank you for the music. The ultimate tribute to ABBA. Tickets £29, 7:30, Friday, 28th of June. Tyne Theatre, Westgate Road, Newcastle. How's that?
Bam!
Wow. Do you know, Spanner, I think he's better than the last lot we've been interviewing.
It's probably a very low bar, isn't it? It's a very low bar, I imagine.
Not really, no. We've got... No, we had this guy called Tom Clark Hillicus. He's not bad.
Oh.
Okay, I've never heard of him. Where's he from, then?
Well, I think he's from Jupiter.
Jupiter. Okay. I've not been to Jupiter. I've not been that far out. No.
We've got a holiday home on Jupiter. I think
Have you?
I think Mr. Mouse sometimes goes there as well. You know, old Mickey.
Oh, right. Can I ask you a question? How do you cope with all the gas?
The gas.
In Jupiter.
The gas on Jupiter. It's just all gas, isn't it? How do you cope with that?
Well, it's quite easy, really, because we've got these. We've got these little breathing tubes that we use. You see?
Ah.
Yes. They just stick over your ear. I invented it, you know.
And the gas shoots right out the back of our suits.
Well, I think you could do very well with those. I would suggest that any major city where there's a lot of pollution, you could market those and make a fortune.
Yes, I did. Yes, that's why we can put this show together, you see.
Oh, I see. Now it's all coming together.
Yes.
But Paul,
Yes.
Spoon says you also have an animation company. Is that true?
Well, I don't have an animation company. I work for an animation company, a company based in Los Angeles, who make children's and family cartoons, which we then distribute all over the world. So I worked at the Walt Disney Company for a long time. I was their head of television. So after my radio time, I've worked in animation and kids now for about 30 years. And I'll tell you something really, really good about animated characters. They don't have agents and they turn up for work on time.
Yes.
Unless you're Jazz Cat, he turns up when he feels like it.
Well, there's always one, isn't there?
Yes, we're trying to address that, though. I made an invention that bolts onto his cat collar. You know his translator collar spanner?
I was trying to think the translator collar, but I was thinking if he did have an agent. But I think the narrator had his name was Agent Orange or something.
Yes, I know the narrator definitely has an agent, but I don't think Jazz Cat does.
But back to Paul's thing. This company in Los Angeles, what's the name of it? I mean, or is it the Walt Disney Company?
No, I used to work for the Walt Disney Company. The company is called Cartoon Studios. It's based in Beverly Hills, and we're a New York Stock Exchange listed company.
Cartoon Studios. So everybody watching, check out Cartoon Studios. Is it .com?
It's cartoonstudios.com, exactly.
Yow. Are you on Rodeo Drive?
No, but very close to Rodeo Drive. We're on North Cannon Drive, 190 North Cannon Drive. So Rodeo Drive is about 30 seconds walk away.
You're still up in the Highlands.
Yes.
I've never been there. What's it? Have you been there a few times to, I mean, I suppose you're the UK arm of this wonderful organisation, but do you get to visit a lot or just go every now and then?
Yeah, I go to LA quite regularly. I did I lived there for 3 years when I worked for Disney, and I'm in LA very regularly. So yeah, I know it pretty well. I mean, it's a very nice part of town. You know, there's some nice coffee shops there, you know, nice hotels. It's a great place to walk. You know, some nice. It's just great. It's really nice, and it's like a little city within a city, really, and a lot of media there too. I mean, a lot of particularly television and agents and so on. And you see the odd Hollywood type. You go in the restaurant there, and you know, a little bit of star spotting occasionally. I was in a restaurant not so long ago, and there was Robert was there. Robert sat at a table just next to me.
A robot?
No, Robert. Robert.
Robert Downey Jr.?
No.
Robert. I'm trying to think.
Robert. Yeah, Robert. Who do you know who's famous called Robert?
De Niro?
Robert De Niro, correct.
Ah.
Robert De Niro. And would you like to know what he was eating?
No.
No.
What restaurant? What restaurant? What
Well,
restaurant?
I won't name the restaurant, but I will tell you he was with a lady, and they paid about $200 for their lunch, and it was basically a plate of lettuce.
Nice.
Oh, lovely.
Very healthy.
Very, very.
Did he catch you looking at him and turn to you and going, "Hey, you looking at me? Are you looking at me?"
I've been around a long, long time, as you can tell. And I'm therefore pretty good at trying to be quite discreet. So you snatch a glance, and you don't do it too obviously. Then you look away, or you position your chair so actually it looks like you should be facing that direction anyway, so you're not staring at them. Because the poor guy, I mean, he doesn't want people staring at his lettuce, does he, when he's eating his lunch?
Absolutely not.
He'd probably want somebody to run up there and nick it off him, though, wouldn't he? So, give him a burger or something.
He probably would like a burger, but I think he has to look after his weight, you see. So, of course, being a movie star, Hollywood starlet, he has to eat lettuce. I had a very nice piece of fish, actually.
Nice.
And I had some fries and some broccoli with it. So I had a proper lunch. There wasn't a lettuce leaf in sight on my plate, I can assure you.
And what did that run you?
Pardon?
And what did that run you?
I didn't pay, so
Yes!
it was free.
Perks!
Yes, I was a guest. So yeah, Beverly Hills is quite expensive. I mean, a cup of coffee in Beverly Hills is $6 or $7, so about £5, which is expensive even compared to Starbucks in the UK.
Yeah.
It is a little, isn't it?
Yes.
Do you know, let's go back to when you did your voiceover bit just.
Oh, right.
I was trying to think who you sounded like, and
Right.
I've got that strange feeling you're a little bit like that Tony Blackburn guy. Do you remember?
I
him?
do, but I can't say sensational as well as he says it.
Sensational.
Sensational, Tony Blackburn. 17 minutes past 5 o'clock. Tony Blackburn here. I can't do that. So no, I'm not like Tony Blackburn. Tony Blackburn is a legend, but I'm not Tony Blackburn.
Right, well, anyway, that just proves that you're very good at it, though.
Not
like...
at all. No, not at all.
No, you are. Don't be so modest.
You're very sweet. I like you a lot now. I'm coming to like you guys more and more.
Well, could you teach Spoon
thank
to
you.
do a little bit of voiceover work?
Well,
Because
I think so, Spoon.
our other guests have
Yes.
tried to get him to do some characters, but maybe just a straight read, Spoon. A straight read, banging out a car commercial. So,
Right, okay, well, I could do a car commercial. Oh, yes, I could do that.
Yes.
Well, give us a few clues then, will you, Paul? How should I start it?
Well, I would say, have you got something in front of you could read? I mean, it doesn't really matter what it is. It's all about the style in which you read it, really.
Oh, okay, let me just...
Now, you've got
see if
quite a
I've
light
something.
voice, Spoon, so I'd
Yes,
suggest that you
I have.
try and put a bit more intonation into it. I mean, Americans project very well, probably better than we
Right.
do in the UK. So if you could project a bit more, that would be good.
Oh,
And then
okay.
you've got to read it very, very fast, but try and keep clarity of the words. So try and keep your diction there, but read it fast with a big, big voice.
I say this is a little complicated,
I
isn't
know,
it,
it is very
Spanner?
and I think
It
we're
is.
going to count you in, Spoon, in 3, 2, 1.
Designed by, in Australia, mode in PRC, all other brands and product names are trademarks or registered trademarks of their respective owners, attractive blah, 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 postcode, and that was rubbish to read.
I think we'll have to take it again. Don't you, Paul?
You need
No.
to do what Judi Dench does.
Yes? What does Judi Dench
She
do?
hugs
That was the question you
trees.
had to ask. Judi Dench,
Oh.
right? Judi Dench, wonderful, celebrated, much loved actress. Her eyesight is not as good as it was. So how does Judi Dench learn her scripts? What she does is she reads them over, she says, around a dozen times. So she commits them to memory. And thereby also she's word perfect. So my advice to you, I think, Spoon, is read it over many, many times before you try and deliver it. Because it's a bit unfair. They're asking you to read it off spec without any rehearsal. But the trick to a delivery is to read it several times. So you're not really reading it on the page anymore. It's almost already in your head. And then you can focus on the delivery, not on the reading. That would be my advice. So be more like Judi Dench is my tip to you.
Right, but isn't she a bit dead? Because the last film I watched her in, she got sort of shot or something.
I think she's a bit like Sean Bean. She always dies in her movies, but in real life, she's alive.
She died very well. I seem to remember. Was it that Bond film? What was it called?
Oh, yes, she was. What, Quantum of Solace? Yes.
Yeah, it was one of those, wasn't it?
Yes.
I can't remember.
With Daniel
but she did it.
Craig. Yes.
That's him.
Yes.
Yes.
He's quite good as well. He's quite good. Could you get him on as your narrator, maybe?
Actually, if you've got any contacts for him, we'd love to have a chat to old Daniel Craig.
I think
I can tell him he's a little bit of a wooden actor, I feel.
We might be able to help his career, I think.
you probably could. I think an appearance on here would absolutely be the sort of the extra exposure that he needs.
Yes. I call him DC. I'd call him D.
Okay.
Hey, DC, would you like to be on the podcast?
What was it like working for Disney then, Paul?
Disney was great. I had a fantastic time there. I worked in the Hammersmith office and in the Los Angeles office at the studio, in the studio there in Burbank. It's a fantastic company. I mean, Disney's full of really great people, creative people, great business people, an amazing brand. One of the things they do, which is quite interesting when you become a sort of senior executive, as I was, is they insist that every year you go into the park and you wear a costumed character. So I've been a Disney costumed character in a park on several occasions where you walk out and you greet the kids and you write autographs. And I can tell you, when you're in a park, either in Anaheim in Los Angeles or in Miami, Florida, it is blooming hot inside a big furry costume.
I bet it is.
Who were you? Which costume was it?
Well, I've done several. I'm a bit too tall for lots of the characters. So I was Baloo the bear from Jungle Book.
Oh.
Cool.
Hey, little buddy.
Yeah, remember? A poor paw and a prickly pear?
Yes.
Phil Harris.
Yes, I remember that
Phil
one.
Harris did the voice originally.
If you pick the wrong paw, next time beware.
Correct. Spot on. Yeah, brilliant. So I was him. I wanted to be Woody from Toy Story.
Ooh.
But I'm a bit too tall to be Woody from Toy Story, which is a bit of a shame.
How tall are you then, Paul?
I'm about 9'10".
Oh, that is tall.
My God, that is tall.
Yeah, I'm
Yes.
sitting on the floor at the moment.
Right, I bet that's uncomfortable.
No, I've got a nice cushion here.
Oh, very good. See, I hear that Tom Clark Hillicus is around the six. Is he 6 foot old, Tom Clark Hillicus?
I think last time we
thereabouts.
threw him up against the wall, it was 6'1" and 3/4. But he's gotten older now. He's down to 6'1" and a half.
I'm about 6'4" in reality.
Whoa.
Yeah.
Oh, that's very tall.
It is.
Do you bang your head on doors a lot?
I did it when I was younger, but I've got better. At least the hair's stayed there.
Well, yes. Well, our writers don't seem to have a lot of hair,
No.
do they?
I don't know. I mean, I don't think it matters, does it? I mean, at least if you lose your hair young, you look the same for the next 40 years, which is always a good thing.
This is
I
true,
always
this is
heard
true.
if you're losing your hair from the top, you're a thinker. And if you're losing it from the front, you're sexy. So in Gavin's case, he thinks he's sexy. I mean, but Gavin's the guy that talks to Spoon every week. So in Spoon's case.
Yes. In Spoon's case, yes. Get it right, Spanner, will you? So
He thinks he's sexy.
Yes, I'm sure he does. Yes, I'm sure he does. So what are you working on at the moment then,
Yes.
Paul? And what about your podcast? Because I've heard an episode of that, and that was very
Oh, what's
good.
the name of
So
it?
I do a podcast called Private Lives, which is basically an interview with a music star. So it's a 1-hour interview with one particular artist, and we talk about their lives, and we try and do it as a sort of celebration of their life, so we're not particularly looking for the dirt or a journalistic angle, but I really want to get into understanding how they got into the business. I mean, so many of these artists, it's extraordinary, struggled, came from very poor homes, had no background in music, had to fight and work. I think it's quite inspirational for anybody trying to do anything in life, that nothing is easy, nothing worthwhile is easy, and getting into the business isn't easy, but these guys have done it. So, ranging from, people like Justin Hayward from the Moody Blues to Timothy B. Smith from the Eagles.
Whoa, I love
Sister
him.
Sledge, all these sort of people. So we do one of those, and I've done about 200, 300 of those now, and they're syndicated around about 15 stations in the UK, also on Spotify, and also in the US now, in a number of markets in the US. So that's fun. And what am I working on? I'm just working on rolling out our services to different countries around the world. So we're in about internationally about 60 countries now, as well as the US. So I've got to try and colour in the rest of the map over the next few years.
That sounds like fun, that does.
The colouring in is very good. You've got to make sure you've got nice sharp pencils, though.
Yes, yes.
Can we find your podcast on that Spotify thing?
Yes, it's on that Spotify thing. Yes, it's on. There's about 30 episodes up there. You can find all of them, though, on Mixcloud. So if you go to Mixcloud, there's about 200 up there, and free to
Private
listen.
Lives.
Cool.
Paul Robinson. Mixcloud.
That's the one.
Would you like to
Yes.
hear my Timothy B. Schmidt impersonation?
I would love to. Yes, please.
I can't tell you why.
Is that it?
Well, that's very good. You chose a good song there because he did write that.
I
as you
love
probably
that.
know. Yeah, he wrote that song from the Long Run album. He wrote that one, so that was a very, very good choice.
He also is from 70 miles from where the guy we're trying to get rid of is from. That
Tom Clark Hillicus.
Yeah. Tom Clark Hillicus is from Oroville, California, and Timothy B. Schmidt is from Sacramento, which is just down the road.
Oh,
Yes,
interesting.
that is correct. But he hung around. He hung around sort of the sort of Midtown and Hollywood area. He was around Mulholland Drive, was where he based himself. Just down from
I'm
Laurel
going to
Canyon.
listen to that one today.
Yes, I like the
Private
Eagles.
Lives.
They're very
I'm
good.
there.
I hear that my writer, or our writer, that Gavin Davis plonker, I think he worked with Paul Carrick's guitarist for about 10 years, and Paul Carrick co-wrote something with the Eagles, I hear.
I didn't know that. I mean, Paul Carrick I have interviewed. I mean, he's a wonderful musician. I mean, obviously I know him from Mike and the Mechanics and from Ace and from Roxy Music. He does everything in his garage. So he's got a studio in his garage in his home, and he does all the recordings in his garage. But he's just wonderfully humble. I've lost track of how many solo albums he's had now. I think he's had 6 or 7 solo albums, but he's fantastic. Great artist, and just a nice guy.
Yes, and his voice is incredibly recognizable, although he finds his face, as it were, as he walks out on the street, is very unrecognizable. That's him. He's very just music. He's really into the his knowledge known by his music, not by his face, like some other celebrities.
That's a very good thing, isn't it, too? Because it means he can live a real life, and he can walk into Sainsbury's and he can go and buy his groceries and no one's going to bother him. But when he's on stage, he turns into the superstar. I interviewed David Essex recently, and I went down. He's on tour in the UK in the autumn, and I went down to the studio in Sussex, near where he lives, where he rehearses. And it was interesting. He said to me, he said, I'm a normal bloke. He said, I've got to become David Essex now. I've got to turn myself into David Essex because I'm not David Essex normally. And we went in the kitchen. He made me a cup of tea, and we had a cup of tea together, and then did the interview. I turned the mic on, and he became David Essex.
David
Essex. Turned the microphone off, and he went and washed the teacups up.
That's good. I think Robbie Williams is like that as well, so I've heard. Have you ever interviewed him?
I've not interviewed Robbie. I've met Robbie quite a few times, but not recently. When I was at Radio 1, we did a lot of things with Take That. So I met Robbie many times. He did the Radio 1 Roadshow for us. Take That did the Radio 1 Roadshow for us many times. And so I've met Robbie, at the beginning of the career of Take That.
Oh,
Yes.
very good. Yes, well, I know he had quite a rough time of it when he was with Take That. He had a few issues.
They kept saying, "Take that! Take that!"
Yes,
Robbie,
take
that.
Take it.
And then
Yes.
he did. He took it.
He took everything.
He did. He should have said take this, and that he
Yes.
just never seemed to cotton on. He should have said take
But
this.
we
Yeah.
need to take off, Spoon.
We do, and you need to do your dad joke because I'm looking forward to that.
Okay. I think Paul would like the snail joke.
Go for it then.
Well, actually, we'll give him the choice. Would you like a snail joke or a chicken joke, Paul?
Oh gosh, let me think. I think I'll go for the snail because that moves more slowly.
It's this couple's anniversary, 10th anniversary, and the guy says, "Honey, I love you so much. Tonight I am going to cook for you. Anything you want." She goes, "Anything?" And he goes, "Yes." She goes, "I've really enjoyed going to that French restaurant. Do you think you could make me snails?" He goes, "But of course." So he goes to the French deli, gets a big bag of snails, starts walking back home about 5 in the afternoon, goes by the pub. His friend jumps out and he says, "Bob, come in, have a pint." And he goes, "Oh, I can't, have to get home and cook these snails for my wife." He goes, "Just have one." He goes in, next thing you know, him and Bob are slashed. It's 8 o'clock at night. He goes, "Oh my gosh, I have to get home, cook these snails." And grabs the snails, stumbles home, opens up the front gate, and spills them right up the walkway. Just as his wife comes out with her hands on her hips, screaming, he goes, "Come on, fellas, we're almost there."
Very good, very good. I hadn't heard it before.
I actually hadn't heard that one at all, Spanner. Normally I have, haven't I?
Well, I'm always up on the latest fresh material.
I say, I bet you've been doing a bit of research, haven't you?
We need to say goodbye to our buddy Paul.
We do, yes.
Thank you for joining us today.
Well, thank you. It's been a very different experience. Thank you very much indeed. And thank you for the plugs for the Private Lives podcast with Paul Robinson.
Oh, he so should be a radio presenter, you know. He really should.
Hi, this is Paul Robinson on the Spanner and Spoon Show, and this is episode 5 of the final episode of the incredible time travel adventure.
Hello, and welcome back to part 5 of the incredible time travel adventure! If you've missed parts 1 to 4, then you can catch up by visiting our website at www.spannerandspoon.com. Last time, our heroes were about to be assassinated by the Dino SAS. Professor Spoon thought he was still in nappies, or diapers for us Yanks. The general was slightly confused, and Auntie Biscuit had a bucket stuck on her head. We join them back in the hospital as the general starts to realize
Dun dun dun.
They are in mortal danger. Professor! Professor, wake up! I think we're in mortal danger.
What? Where am I? Oh, my head hurts.
Yes, you have a mild concussion because of the explosion.
My head feels like it was hit by a truck. Did you see Tiddles?
Tiddles? No, I didn't.
He was trundled past me on a trolley.
Holy catnip! We must try and find him. Oh, that's better. My eyesight is returning. You know, I don't think Nurse Thunderthighs is a nurse at all. We must find Auntie Biscuit and Tiddles, then retrieve the time machine and return to Beaconsferret. Professor, are you feeling better now?
Yes, I think I am.
Right then, let's get going.
Where are you going? Can I come? I don't want to be turned into a McDino burger. Do you have any bananas? I like bananas. I'll tell the guards you're trying to get away if you don't let me come.
Oh, okay, Dick. But don't slow us down. And try to blend in, if you can.
Here, have my last banana.
Whoa, thanks, Professor. That looks beautiful.
Okay, I think they took Biscuit to Theater 4 and Tiddles to Theater 1.
Let's get Auntie first, then she can help us catnap Tiddles.
Catnap. I see what you did there, Professor. If we make it back, there's a career in stand-up comedy waiting for you. Not. But yes, agreed. That is a good idea, Professor. Dick, please stop drooling.
What did he say?
Here we are, Theatre 4.
Quick, looks like they've left Biscuit on her own.
Biscuit, we're here to rescue you.
First of all, let's get this bucket off your head. We can't understand a word you're saying. Oh, mercy. That smells awful.
Right then, Dick. You hold Auntie's feet. General, you can get a good hold on that bucket. That smell is awful. Right then, when I hit the bucket with this large medical sledgehammer, both of you pull as hard as you can.
Did you hear something, Professor?
No. After 3 then. 1, 2...
Are you sure this will work?
Not really. 3... Now pull as if your life depends on it.
Oh, that feels much better. Does my hair look okay?
Ha! She said, does my hair look okay when it's covered in poo? Ha ha! That's funny.
Dick, don't push your luck.
Take no notice of him, Biscuit. You look fine. Let's go get Tiddles.
Biscay! You found Tiddles? That's fantastic news. Where is he?
He's in Theater 1 for some reason. Let's go rescue him.
Right then.
Oh no! Theater 1's empty. They must have moved him somewhere else.
Oh, there he is, over there, in that recovery room. Quick, hide in this cupboard, everyone. Someone's coming.
Ugh, that smell is getting to me.
How do you think I feel?
I think they have gone. Let's get Tiddles.
Yes, he's on his own. He's sitting up. Sitting up? Oh, and he's reading a newspaper. Oh! Tiddles, darling, am I glad to see you. Where have you been, my gorgeous little fluffy furball? Give Auntie Biscay a big kiss.
Whoa, Biscuit baby. Good to see you, but back off, honey. You got some serious stench going on. Pooh, you can knock a buzzard off a poo wagon. And you guys, hey, I'm glad to see yous too.
Tiddles can speak?
Yeah, the dinos gave me this translator collar thing, so I can talk the talk.
Well, Tiddles, we've come to rescue you.
Hey, slow down a bit, General. Who says I need rescuing? And by the way, the name is now El Presidente, a.k.a. Jazz Cat. Tiddles is old news, buddy.
But Tiddles, don't you want to come home with us?
What? In return to being treated like a lowly pet again? Stroked when you supreme beings got a moment? Kicked out the door without warning to face the neighborhood Rottweiler? I don't think so, honey. Well, not unless things could change.
What sort of things?
Well, for starters, I hate cat food. You ever ask me what I think about it? No. I mean, what is that garbage anyway? Pig snouts and linoleum? Rat poo and cattle bits? You eat it. And I hate roaming the streets at night. So stop pushing me out of the cat flap. Yeah, and that cat flap's a death trap. You got Jack Russells and badgers and skunks and weasels peeking through there all night while you're upstairs snoring away? Oh, and most importantly, stop blowing me up with your stupid inventions. Go find another victim. Speaking of which, who's this guy?
That is Dick.
Huh, looks like it rhymes with thick. Is he as thick as the rest of the humans on this planet?
Hey, I resemble that remark.
Yes, and he likes bananas.
They all like bananas.
Well, are you coming with us or not, Tiddles?
El Presidente or Jazz Cat, you mean? Well, I suppose I could, as long as I get treated like royalty.
Look here, Mr. Presidente Jazz Cat. You spend most of the time sleeping. We feed you, look after you, and Auntie worships the ground you walk on. What more do you want?
I'll tell you. Tuna, cream, warm slippers, and a newspaper every morning. Then for afternoons, some turkey, salmon and ice cream. Yeah, loads of ice cream. And finally, Russian beluga caviar flown in every day by Playboy bunnies.
No problem, Tiddles. Done. A bit chauvinistic with the caviar and the bunnies, but that's settled then. Now, how do we get out of here?
I'll ask Jarvis to pull the car around the front, and we can leave in style.
Jarvis, who's he?
My butler.
Oh, I see. You don't happen to know where the time machine is, do you?
Yeah, I overheard one of my doctors saying that it was being examined over at the police laboratory by Dr. Quantum Cubitt of Dino Research.
Let's get moving then.
Oh dear! It seems our heroes are being ambushed by the Dino SAS. However, all is not lost because in the kerfuffle, they managed to escape by sliding down a laundry chute. Haha, that old chestnut. Jazz Cat manages to call Jarvis on his cell phone and asks him to drive to the side exit. Jarvis then drives our heroes to the Police Research Center, where they're introduced to Dr. Quantum Cubit.
Oh, President, sir. What an honor to meet you. Yeah, likewise. Where's the machine, man? Oh, do you mean that conglomeration that the officers brought in? Well, I've run it through the spectrotransmogrifier, the gyrospectrum endoscope purveyor, and the omega translucid oscilloscope, and we still have no definite answers as to what it is. So since you folks built it, what the flippity criminy fiddly poo is it?
Oh, it's funny you should say conglomeration, as that is exactly what it is. It's actually a morphology of a washing machine, electronic superfurls, gyro dishwasher radio junkets, and a broom closet.
Interesting. What's the broom closet for?
Brooms? Actually, it made the perfect shrouding device for said conglomeration, which, as you can see, has no actual purpose but immense sentimental value.
So, thank you extremely for looking after it for us, and we will now take it off your hands. Have a lovely day.
I expect that will be okay, but I must make a quick telephone call from my office first. Excuse me. Yeah, all right, Quanti. Just make it snappy. I got things to do. Oh, of course, Mr. President. Hello, Dr. Quantum Cubit here. Put me through to the head of military, as I have some urgent information for her. Yes, my security clearance code is DR Charlie Romeo Alpha Papa Head. Yes, it's Crabhead. Hello, Florence. Yes, it's Reginald here. I have good news. You know how we discussed exterminating that bothersome president? Well, he's always been in the protection of the royal palace and surrounded by adoring citizens. But just now, he and a strange group of humans have been in my lab and will soon be out in the parking lot. Call in the pterodactyl airstrike team for 1443 at GPS location 41 degrees north, 2 degrees east. I'll make sure that they're there. All is in order, Mr. President. You are all free to take your machine, and I wish you well.
Well, that is very kind of you, Dr. Quantum Cubit. We'll be on our way then. Bye.
See you later, alligator.
Thank you. Goodbye.
Thank you, Dr. Quantum. Thank you. Ta-ra.
See you on the downstroke.
That was easier than I thought it would be.
Pull it into the middle of the car park quickly. Dick, grab this end.
You said end. It looks like a banana. That's funny.
Shut up and get busy. I'm licking my lips for caviar.
Here, let me start this. Activate this lovely... Oh, here we go. Ooh,
Here we go. Whoa.
Oh, what's that in the sky? Scary dactyls!
As you might expect, our heroes escaped by the skin of their teeth. As the dino attack exploded on their coordinates, our gang was already hurtling forward in time towards the present and beautiful downtown Beaconsfield.
Oh, lovely to be back. I'll put the kettle on then.
Hey, unsnap this seatbelt here. Remember what you promised. Give me my stuff. You hear me? Hey, give me my basket and my catnip and my beluga caviar and them bunnies. You promised, man.
Did you hear something? Seems like little Tiddles is back to meowing again.
Looks like his translator collar has disappeared. I fear non-biological products from another era cannot be transported through the quantum gate.
That was so strange when he was actually speaking.
This place is weird. I guess I'm illogical then. Do you have bananas here?
Ah, man, I knew it was too good to last. Back to chasing mice and spitting out hairballs.
Well, all's well that ends well. Here's today's newspaper, just like we never left. What?
What is it, Spanner?
There's something strange walking down the street. It's a
Dinosaur!
I hope we haven't messed with the timeline. Sliding doors will have nothing on us.